Harvard is going to lose its capacity to be a magnet to the brightest students all over the world. Then it is sending the message that we are willing to sacrifice Harvard to the foreign policy of Netanyahu. Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk about another blow that the Trump administration has basically struck against Harvard University. It is trying to beat Harvard University into obedience. It wants Harvard to open up its books. It wants to have control over the curriculum. It wants to control what is taught at Harvard. It wants to control who teaches at Harvard. It wants to control who studies at Harvard. So basically, it wants to take one of the most preeminent universities in the world, the number one university in the world and in the United States, and make it basically a training camp of the Trump administration's ideological agenda. The whole goal in trying to destroy Harvard is because Harvard will not toe a particular agenda with regards to Israel. So, because there are international students and because there are Harvard faculty and students who are critical of the Trump administration's, not just the Trump, but the US foreign policy towards the Middle East, and because they are particularly critical of the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza as we speak, the Trump administration is trying to silence dissent and basically punish these universities for allowing their students to become conscious about justice, about equality, about fairness, about international law, for teaching them all of these things, which then enable them to recognize that there is something fundamentally wrong and inhuman about US foreign policy in the Middle East. So basically, they are targeting the weakest members of the academic community, which are international students who are here and whose visas can be revoked far more easily than, say, punishing citizens who are both faculty and students. The Trump administration canceled Harvard's ability to enroll international students. This is a huge blow against a university which attracts the best talent from all over the world. About 6,800 international students were enrolled at Harvard's undergraduate and graduate programs last year, which is about 27% of its entire student body. Roughly 1 out of 3 students at Harvard comes from overseas. These are the best of the best all over the world, whether it is in sciences or social sciences, whether it's for postgraduate studies or postdoctoral studies. Many of them stay back and become professors or work in American industry or become entrepreneurs. But the Trump administration is trying to make an example of Harvard. It has already done that with Columbia. It's basically trying to scare the hell out of international students, and not just international students. It just wants to ensure that there is no critique of Israel in this country. That's the sole purpose of it, that Israel should be able to do whatever it likes in Gaza, and there should be no dissent in America. And if there is dissent, then it is sending the message that we are willing to sacrifice Harvard to the foreign policy of Netanyahu. This is the message. And all universities, if they do not follow the diktats of this administration, they will be punished. Harvard has already been punished. About $2.2 billion in research money has been taken away from Harvard, which means a lot of researchers will not be able to work. Their salaries will be gone, lots of funding, and most of this is in STEM research. So Harvard is definitely going to fall behind in scientific knowledge production, in research. Many talented researchers are going to lose their positions going forward. Harvard does have a lot of money. It does have $50 billion of endowment, but all of that is allocated to certain projects. It doesn't mean that it has lots of money lying there unutilized that it could redirect to compensate for the loss of these grants. Not only that, but the Trump administration has threatened to take away its 501c3 status or tax exempt status, which means that Harvard will have to pay heavy taxes on its endowment as well as its income, etc., which will then be an additional massive cost, taking away money from its ability to do research, bring in faculty, and bring in scientists from all over the world. There are lots of exchange programs that happen, and so all of that will be curtailed because of the loss of that funding if that happens. And now, with Harvard unable to recruit students, this is a major deathly blow to Harvard's status as a preeminent university. What Harvard will not be able to do is bring in its international class come fall, 3 months from now. Literally five to literally three to I guess 2 to 3 thousand international students would be coming to Harvard for its undergraduate program, for its master's programs, for its various PhD programs. Harvard is a big university with about 25,000 students, of which about 4 to 5 thousand are undergraduates, and nearly 20,000 of them are people who are pursuing advanced degrees. None of them will be able to come in. Already, the student body that exists at Harvard, the international student body, about 6,000, they will also have to transfer to some other universities or they will have to go back to their country. So, this is going to be a massive blow if Harvard does not go to court and accepts this ruling. And if it is not repealed by the courts, even if there's a stay order from say a court on this, if you are an international student, imagine yourself that you have an option to go to Harvard University or go to University of Toronto in Canada or go to University of Melbourne in Australia or go to the London School of Economics in UK. And after just observing all this, and let's assume that you are one of the brightest mathematician in the world, you just won a gold medal in Iran or in India or in China for being the best mathematician of your generation, and you're coming here to do your PhD in mathematics. Harvard has offered you full funding. Let's say even MIT has offered you, and Caltech has offered you, and U Toronto and London School of Economics. What are you going to do right now? You're going to say, oh my God, there's no way I can go to Harvard now, but can I take the risk of going to Stanford? This could happen to me next semester at Stanford or at MIT. So, you know what? Maybe I will go to Canada. But Canada is not very different from the United States. I mean, yes, the Canadian Prime Minister has now criticized Israel, but I could there again be accused of just, what am I supposed to do? Go there for 5 years to do a PhD and not speak up when I see injustices happening worldwide? What kind of a liberal democracy is this? So, most probably, all these international students may choose to go to other countries or stay at home. If this person is a talented German, he may decide, oh, what the heck, I'll stay in Germany. Anyway, the education is free. Or maybe I'll go to France or stay in Europe. So that is one of the consequences that Harvard is going to lose its capacity to be a magnet to the brightest students all over the world. This is what the administration really said. I'm writing to inform you that effective immediately, Harvard University student and exchange visitor program certification is revoked. Now, this is the letter that Kristi Noem, the Secretary for Homeland, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, sent to them, and this was also was available to New York Times. The DHS also said that Harvard has created an unsafe campus by allowing anti-American pro-terrorist agitators. Look, if these are terrorists or pro-terrorists, you can arrest them and prosecute these students. But very few people have been arrested and prosecuted for terrorism. They're all been visas have been revoked so far of the hundreds of students who have been forced to deport at other universities. All they have done is written op-eds, articles, or slogan, or been critical. There is no actual evidence against what many of these students are allegedly have done. So this is what is happening, and not only that. I mean, this is becoming more and more bizarre. This is what the DHS also says. that DHS alleged that Harvard had created an unsafe campus by allowing anti American pro terrorist agitators on site and claimed without evidence that the university had collaborated with Chinese Communist Party earlier this week. The House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party launched an investigation into Harvard's partnership with organizations with alleged ties to CCP. I mean, I really don't know anybody who is currently collaborating with the Chinese Communist Party except the Trump administration, which went all the way to Switzerland to negotiate with them. So right now, the only American entity that I know which is currently collaborating with the Chinese Communist Party is the United States government itself. But what the heck? They are just going to just make allegations and they expect the American courts. Luckily, so far, the American courts have been standing up to some of the excesses of the Trump administration and pushing back at it. But I mean, this is just mind blowing. This is nothing. It serves absolutely no national interest purpose. Let's say that they are doing this to protect Jewish students who are distressed by all the pro Palestine and pro anti Israel protests on campus. Let's say the sole purpose of this is to protect Jewish students who study at Harvard. Once Harvard's ranking goes down as a result of all of this and Harvard is destroyed, do you think those students are going to go to Harvard? No, they'll go to the other university, whichever emerges as the best university in the world. These are talented students, obviously, if they've been admitted to Harvard. Anyway, in this conversation, I'm going to talk about what its implications are for Harvard and what its implications are for international students. And also, ultimately, I will end this conversation by comparing why Harvard is so important if the United States is trying to sustain and maintain its global preeminence in its competition, this great power competition that we are having with China. I'm going to show you research of top universities in the world, not based on reputation or perceptions or endowments, but based on just production of scientific research. That's it. If we remove all the rubbish and just focus on knowledge production by universities through research, what is the world university ranking? It's going to shock you to no end. So just hang in there till the end. I'm keeping the most powerful weapon in my arsenal towards the end. And if you want to miss it, that's fine, but just hang in there. I promise you, you will be shocked. So this is what it's going to do to the international body. Every year, international students bring about $40 billion to the U.S. economy. International students bring $40 billion to U.S. economy. They pay full tuition, and because the tuitions of all American international for international students is usually high, anywhere between 30 to 80,000. At Harvard, it becomes 87,000 with when you add tuition and dorms, and so that's a lot of money that is coming into the U.S. that sustains universities. Not only that, it funds universities, it subsidizes education for American students who then get discounts, who get scholarships, who get lower tuitions. It supports scientific research at these universities. It creates jobs. These $40 billion that is coming in. There are so many people at the universities who are hired to handle issues with international students, their admission process, maintaining their status, etc. So there's a huge bureaucracy that caters to international students. It creates tons and tons of jobs, literally hundreds of thousands of jobs. According to one estimate, international students generate 300,000 US jobs. Trump wants to bring jobs to America. Well, there are jobs here, and you're now going to be hurting them. For every 3 international students, there's 1 US job that is created in support of them. So imagine if you're going to lose the 6,000 international students that Harvard has, you would lose 2,000 jobs. Let me say that again. for every three international students that we get, we create one US job. So if we are going to eliminate 6,000 students who come to Harvard, international students, we will lose 2,000 jobs. International students, because they are the best, they come and work inside, largely in the STEM areas. They produce innovation and research and keep the United States economy and the United States on the cutting edge of science. And in this day and age where knowledge matters the most, we want talent to come here. We are living in an AI-based economy, and if we don't get the best of the best coming to America, we will lose them. And it's not just with Harvard, because more and more international students are going to freak out, and some of the best ones who have options. Uh, for our incoming PhD class, I spoke to a student who had options at other universities, full funding at other universities, and not just in the US, but in other countries. And so when I was talking to him and asking him, how are you going to decide where you would go? And he was saying that, well, I love the University of Delaware, but I'm also going to look at the probability of my getting a visa to the US as opposed to other countries like UK, Norway, Canada, and US and Australia, where he had admissions. So so already this must be scaring him. And that student is very, very bright. I'm really looking forward to him coming to University of Delaware in the fall. But after reading these reports and also after seeing this conversation, will he come? A lot of international students who have come here, who have studied here, have started companies, and some of them, like this crazy nut from South Africa, he came to America, an international student, and then he started a company called Tesla and built the most sophisticated EV cars. He started another company that sends rockets into space. He has started another company called Starlink, which connects people all over the world, regardless of weather and the environment, etc. So people like Elon Musk were international students who came to America and then contributed to the American economy and science. We will lose all of that, but more importantly, America's universities, the reputation that they enjoy, the mythical quality of the knowledge production that goes on at these universities, which is celebrated in movies, in articles, and all over the world. People talk about Harvard and MIT and Stanford and University of Delaware. University of Delaware is one of the top 80 universities in Turkey, for example. Lots and lots of Turkish students want to come to America to study. We have lots of people from Africa who are coming. So even though we are not the best in America, we will soon be at the rate at which Donald Trump is destroying the top schools like Columbia and Harvard. I think I won't be surprised that by day after tomorrow, University of Delaware might be ranked number one in the world. But what it does is give soft power and global influence to America. One of the sources of America's soft power is American universities, and we are destroying that. This is why America is great. This is why people want to come here. This is why people want to send their children here. This is why people spend their hard-earned, lifelong earnings that they've saved for decades, that they spend uh, money that they've saved for 30 years, they spend in 4 years by sending their children here to the United States because of the fact that there is this aura of profound superiority of American universities, American methods of teaching and research and etc. And it's true. The amount of innovation in technology that has happened in the last 100 years in the United States is incomparable. All the greatest things that you have in the world today, whether it is the internet, whether it's the aeroplane, whether it's space research, etc., are all products of American universities and American science and American research. What will it do to Harvard? Harvard has a large endowment, so it's not going to impact as much, but everything will be scaled down. The tuitions will reduce, which means there will be less jobs, there will be less scholarships available. So everything that Harvard is going to do will be scaled down if international students, and the university will shrink and become two-thirds of what it is. Its reputation and global standing will definitely suffer if the best of the students are not coming here and they're going to other universities. It would be so sad if people who got admitted to Harvard, instead of coming to Harvard, went to University of Toronto or British Columbia in Canada, and then within a few years, they those universities uh, become at the cutting edge of knowledge and science and not American universities. It will reduce campus diversity and corrupt or at least reduce the vitality of the university's environment. You have no idea how incredible it is. Sometimes I teach classes in which I have only 9 PhD students, but from 7 different countries. The diversity that they bring to the discussions is stunning. We're talking about global governance, or we are talking about good governance. The experiences of students who are, since they are PhD students, they've had they've lived for more than 25 years usually, and they have a lot of knowledge and experience about how things happen in their country. So we get to hear the experience from Botswana and Ghana, from India and from Bangladesh, from Turkey and from Poland, etc., are right there in the classroom. And in none of these countries will they be able to have this kind of experience. Many of these students, brilliant students who come to Harvard, then they go back and they usually become very prominent leaders of industry and politics in their own countries, which again gives America tremendous influence and soft power over these countries. Imagine having a G20 summit where there are 20 heads of state and 4 of them have gone to Harvard, or 6 of them have gone to Harvard, or 10 of them have gone to American universities. The conversation itself will be very different, especially the informal ones. Whether you like it or not, there will be a pro America atmosphere there because all of these will be sending their children to America too. So we are damaging a tremendous instrument of knowledge production, of advancement of technology, of generating power, and also influence globally. Here I'm going to show you something called the CWTS rankings produced by the Leiden University in Holland. So according to them, this is what they do. They only look at publications in top journals of the field. They're not looking at so if they're looking at physics publications, they're only looking at publications in top physics journals or core physics journals. They use the word core physics journal. So if they're looking at political science publications, they're only looking at the top political science publications. And based on that, they're simply calculated the power of research that universities are generating through publications. Not perceptions, nothing doing. They're not looking at infrastructure. How many swimming pools do you have in your university? Do you have a football team? What is the ranking of your basketball team? None of that BS that goes into American university rankings. Just how much science have you produced? Period. And this is that ranking that I'm sharing here. Just look at, these are the top 25 universities. Number one, I can't even pronounce the name. Just look at the flag. Number one is from China. Number two is Harvard. Number three is Chinese. Number four, Chinese. Number five, Chinese. Number six, number seven, Chinese. Number eight, University of Toronto, which I think if Harvard collapses, Toronto gains. Number 9, again Chinese. Number 10, Chinese. Number 11, Chinese. Number 12, number 13, number 14, number 15, Chinese universities. So in the top 15 universities, 13 are Chinese universities, one Harvard, one University of Toronto from Canada. Now, clearly there are lot more Chinese people in the world, so they have a lot more scientists and a lot more professors and graduate students who are writing. So the sheer volume of knowledge that they are producing, it will be more, but the quality is the challenge. That's the the important part of it, that they're producing quality research. How are we going to keep up with them? Well, one way in which Harvard would keep up with them is to get these scholars to come and become professors and visiting professors at Harvard University. Or if they are graduate students, they can come and finish their PhD here. And they stay back most of the time and contribute to the American environment of science, American research, and American economy. And then if you look even below the number 15, then number 16 is Brazil. Again, 17 is Wuhan University, and then University of Michigan, then again a Chinese university, and again in 22. So if you look at the top 25, you have very few American universities. Harvard University is number 2, and then you have University of Michigan at number 18, and Johns Hopkins in 21. So in the top 20, there are only two American university. Then you have Johns Hopkins, Stanford, University of Pennsylvania. So basically, 5 universities out of 25. And this itself should be a source of a problem. This chart should drive the Trump administration to spend more money on research and give more grants to American universities. And also give us more freedom to bring international students to come here and contribute. Otherwise, we are going to fall behind. And I can tell you this much: the day American universities disappear from the top 25 or top 50, imagine if we see a day where top American universities like Harvard, Stanford, and University of Pennsylvania and Johns Hopkins are not in the top 30, not top 40, then America is not going to be the number one economy or number one power in the world. I can guarantee you that the connection between knowledge and power is undeniable. Yesterday was an interesting day for me. One of my students uh, got her PhD, and there was a hooding ceremony. It's a very important ritual where a professor hoods his or her student, and so they are then welcome to the academy. They become part of the world of scholars in America. Just about 2% of the American population has PhDs or doctorate level, but many of them are MDs and JDs. So if you drop out the MDs and JDs, then only 1.2 or 1.3% of the American population has actually earned PhDs. And then in the world, there's less than 1% of the population has PhD. So it was an important day for me. I went for this simulation, for this hooding ceremony. Of the in the class of 2025 for our department, which is not very big, we have only about 25 professors, and we have an incoming class of PhD students of 6 to 8. So we have roughly about 40 to 50 PhD students at any given time. So we had 7 PhD students graduate. So we had 7 people who had a hooding ceremony yesterday. And of those 7 students, 5 were international students from 5 different countries. One from Afghanistan, one from Bangladesh, one from Turkey, one from Ghana, and one from South Korea, and then 2 Americans. So if we don't have international students coming into the US, and if this whole tendency to target international students, Harvard is just one chapter of this entire ugly book that the Trump administration is writing, then I can tell you that we won't have a PhD program. Uh, and let me not yet talk, even the faculty is like that. We have many faculty members who came here from England and from Germany, from Iran, and from India, from various countries in South America, from Peru, etc. So, so we have an international body of scholars, international body of students, and that gives vitality to the university. And now it's scaring the hell out of us as we recruit students into the future. Should we offer admissions to international students? Will they get visas? What will happen to them? I talk regularly to students who are already here, and they are living under a Damocles sword. So this is really a very difficult time in American history, where uh, just to protect Israel's occupation of Gaza, we are destroying one of the greatest universities ever produced in human history. So I'm going to stop at that. A couple of things I wanted to show that a little later in the night, I'll be doing a live show very briefly about Trump's policy towards the restructuring of the supply chain of Apple computers, of Apple iPhones. And I'll be happy to take questions at that time. And we can talk about Harvard and international education and what the Trump administration is doing at that time. So thank you for watching Conversations. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this with your socio-political network. Conversation is now also eligible for super thanks and super chats, and you're welcome to do and indulge yourself. Thank you very much. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Bye.